The Trump administration is looking for any excuse to withdraw from any type of peace accord with Iran, with North Korea, with Venezuela. The 2015 G5+1 agreement was extremely important because Iran is a country that's been subjected to very, very cruel sanctions and aggression from the United States that dates back to 1979. With the Islamic Revolution, the U.S. never forgave the tens of millions of people of Iran because they ousted the Shah and they ousted the U.S. puppet. So Barack Obama's administration was able to take at least baby steps towards a peace agreement, lifting a part of these sanctions against Iran. And here comes Trump, against the advice of the intelligence cabal community, and Trump is trying to hurl us back to a heightened state of aggression with the countries that I mentioned, really with any country that falls out of the sphere of influence of the United States. Trump is somebody who's worth $4 billion. That's a lot of zeros. He can't relate to the everyday American. So the irony that so many poor people, working class people, especially in the white working class, voted for Trump is very mysterious or misinformed, because Trump doesn't represent them and represent their interests. So if Trump is not in touch with everyday working people in the U.S., how out of touch is he with the reality in Pyongyang, the DPRK, in Caracas, Venezuela, in Tehran? The American media has been saying that the North Korean leadership is crazy ever since 1950, resulting in a war that killed millions and millions of Koreans, which was the true insanity, the insanity of war. Who have the Koreans killed? Who are the Koreans a threat to? What has Kim Jong-un ever done to the United States or our communities? It's the United States that's encircling North Korea with a military threat every single day. There's 50,000 U.S. troops in Japan, there's 5,000 U.S. troops in Guam, and there's another 30,000 U.S. troops on the border of Pyongyang in South Korea. So who is the true threat in the Pacific? It's not the DPRK, it's the United States. And I think humanity understands this. Our mission is to educate more of the American population, because when you watch CNN and Fox News and MSNBC, they're constantly beating the war drums. More war, more sanctions, more pressure. They depend on the vilification, on demonizing all of these other countries who don't pose a concrete threat to any of us. Trump is a political novice. He's a political mediocrity, somebody with no experience. So his decisions towards Iran are very provocative. They're very dangerous. They undo a lot of important work, certain strides towards peace that the liberal Obama administration tried to take. And that's not to say that Obama's decisions on Iran were perfect, but at least it was headed towards peace. Trump wants to intensify the sanctions against Iran, Venezuela, DPRK. This causes harm to everyday working families. So we see Trump as a threat to world peace. We see him as somebody that is not politically stable, never mind in a personal way. So there's a mass movement in this country for peace, an anti-war movement against Trump, because we understand that the greatest threat to peace in the world is our own government that attempts to speak in our name but doesn't represent the everyday political views of the American people.